Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take a quick look at Solana, see what's going on. Quick little update. We can see yesterday's fair value gap fully filled, but we also got a new one established here to the downside. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and more importantly, kind of recognize this power of three trade setup, which was strictly manipulation based on the pump from yesterday with the Trump tariffs essentially being paused for 90 days. So there's a lot of little things kind of factoring in here, but we're having this natural capitulation, this natural pullback to fill that significant gap that occurred. And we're more likely than not going to go up from here. And I'll explain more so why I mean that. Mainly because we have nice, good chart patterns, higher highs, higher lows, as well as some decent supply or rather demand zones here near the downside. So let's look at liquidation first, kind of recognize there's a lot of shorts between 121 and 125 with good reason. It's essentially that local high. I've mentioned 120 to 130. I think it's 122 to 128 specifically, is that resistance range for us. So we can presume we're going to see that kind of have difficulty crossing that level. So had I been awake or in my office for taking a short at that level, I would have considered doing so because everything was massively overextended. It just makes sense. However, it's good not to try to short into a high volume candle too, because oftentimes it continues up and will sweep majority of late shorts. So there was an inherent risk of trying to short the top yesterday. Having said that, though, we can see liquidation delta is decreasing from that significant increase. We had about 3 billion for liquidation delta there, and now we're tapering off to closer to about 1 billion left. It basically implies that longs are still in play, and you shouldn't short into this. The likelihood of bouncing from here is higher based on that sentiment. And we look at this here as well, 112 to 117 is that local point of control or open interest, effectively, kind of letting us know that we lost that little area. And the reason why we see a heavy accumulation at 112 is because not only was that a previous resistance level, you can see multiple times that level was tested and inevitably broke through. So it's super common for those previous highs, just like this here, for example, to be the new lows. So I think we're just in this little greedy section right now where they're trapping late shorts and the price action is going to go up and destroy a lot of late shorts. It's very common for this type of manipulation to happen because traditional trading, we should have bounced right here and Bob's your uncle. But no, we had a Trump tariff tweet, of course, China 140% tariffs on China now, and we saw a strong amount of capitulation, which was fairly unnecessary. But it blasted straight through that support. Daily time frame. Recognize here that there's nothing awesome about the daily time frame. It's going to be the same narrative for quite some time. We're going to need to be above 120, 130 at the very least to be like, cool, we're back on track. Right now, we're just in manipulation city, or it's just not a good situation. Ugly trading conditions. Now, granted, we did find some good profit here with our trades here. Look at this here. 43%, no, correction, 54% from Bitcoin and 32% from Solana. So we caught those wicks, of course, just before the price pumped up. Now that was more luck than anything. I'm not going to say that I knew that we're going to see the price pump up because there's going to be a pause on tariffs. Nobody knew it was going to happen. However, we got in early enough because there was a lot of confluence in that support range here between 103 and 106. I discussed that yesterday in my video. So all that being said, daily time frame sucks. 4-hour time frame is reflecting some positivity here. Where while we're under 50 in the RSI, it's not like an exact line in the sand. This is that little manipulative wick down. We can see we're right there at the moving average, and MACD is still converging. Truth be told, this is like kind of a mess. There's no like definitive like, okay, you should take a long right now. What's interesting about the market right now is that you get so many conflicting factors on the time frames that the best thing you can rely on is either A, the trend, or B, major or macro support levels. And we can see here in this range here, ever since we've been, ever since Sunday, it's really only been about 4 days, we can see the most amount of volume is accumulated at 107. We're really close to that range. So i.e., hypothetically, we should be bouncing from here. I feel as if we're going to continue higher, mainly because I feel Bitcoin's going to bounce off of its support and its demand zone here in the 77 to 79K range, if it comes down that low. I personally feel that we're going to see recovery to fill our newest fair value gap. And if that's the case, then Solana will follow suit. Good thing is Solana has been establishing higher lows where Bitcoin had parallel lows. And that's half the reason why we took our trade yesterday, because we can see here, these are higher lows where Bitcoin was exuding double bottom. Both are good bullish type of patterns, but once more on the charts, there's not a lot else kind of letting us know that we're in good shape, right? So once more, trust the short-term trend. It's still looking good until we break the structure. I think we're in good shape. And then we kind of confirm a few other things too as well here. We are tentatively above the cloud. I joke and I laugh about that because this is one of those situations where normally you'd want to flip bearish, but I personally feel if pending we don't get any more Trump tweets, we should be in good shape to be able to recover off this massive supply, this massive demand zone here where people are looking to buy in the 106 to 105 range. Okay, so I'll update our playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly, and we'll go from there. Congrats again to our community members for some nice profits on yesterday's trades. We're probably going to be, well, not probably, I'm already in a long at 79,000 for Bitcoin and may even consider a long here in this zone here that we're in. Hope you have a good day and be safe out there. Thanks again so much for being an awesome part of my life. Don't forget to comment below. Let me know, what are your thoughts on Solana? Where are you at right now? I hope you do well out there, and thanks again so much for your support. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.